Talk 1430 WXNT. Today we've been talking about Indianapolis and its status as the #1 real estate market for cash flow properties, for rental properties in the country. And we've been digging into the specifics of where I came from and how I came to transplant myself from California to Indianapolis back in 2004. And since I relocated and moved out here, we've purchased over 1,800 properties, primarily in Marion County, primarily here in the downtown county of Indy metro area. And in the last segment, we discussed monopoly, and we discussed little green houses, and the idea, the ludicrous idea of trying to play the game of Monopoly without buying anything, without buying properties, without buying houses, without buying hotels. And I actually was having this discussion with a group of investors in California a few months ago, and somebody came up to me at the break and said, do you know that they did this study on the game of Monopoly and found that the cheapest properties are the best way to win the game? I thought, well, that's interesting. That really kind of supports what we've been talking about. So if you try to buy Park Place and Boardwalk and the green properties on that same row, then your chances of winning the game drop. And I said, well, that coincides with exactly what I believe, because we have built our retirements as a company and as an individual and for other investors all over the world by buying those $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 houses. Now, what neighborhoods would those be here in Indianapolis? Well, areas like Irvington, areas like Perry Township, which is on the south side, areas like Decatur Township, which is on the southwest side. If you think about the 465 in your mind, we like to be just inside the 465, right along the 465 on the northwest, west, southwest, south, southeast, and east sides of town. Areas around the Speedway. We've all been to the track. We love houses around that area. We find that we get a really good balance of stability, working class neighborhoods, people who have jobs, who have decent credit, and also that wheelhouse of pricing, those $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 properties. And before the break, I was also discussing the article that came out in Indy Star this week, describing how Indianapolis had fallen from its top spot in terms of home ownership. But if you look at other factors, and some people think, well, maybe that's potentially a negative article. But I would say not really. I would say that because of the way the lending climate was in this country previously, there was a lot of people getting loans that couldn't qualify and shouldn't have qualified for those loans. And really, the whole process of homeownership has changed drastically. In 2006, you could basically show a credit score and a tax return, and a bank would give you a mortgage. And a lot of times it would give you a mortgage for far more than what people could afford. That's changed, and you have to have a down payment, and you have to have money, and you have to be able to show that you can qualify for that mortgage. And because of that, homeownership has dropped. But if you look at Indianapolis as a big picture, if you look at the job market, it's excellent. It's better than its competitors. In fact, white-collar unemployment right now is under 4%. If you look at new construction, there has not been a lot of new construction because a lot of builders got burned, a lot of builders went bankrupt, and those same builders have been hesitant to start building again. But if you look at population growth, Indianapolis continues to grow at the rate of about 1% increase per year. So if we're getting more and more people living here, if there's jobs for those people, and nobody's building any new houses, what does that mean for the potential landlord? That you'll have plenty of tenants who have jobs to pay you rent, and you'll have opportunities to buy houses. And we've seen just in the past few months, investors from all over the world snatching up properties in this market, looking to rehab properties and looking to rent those properties out. And you as investors and you as potential investors have the opportunity, because in your own backyard is the #1 real estate market in the country. And those of you who are sitting there thinking, well, you know, I have my financial planner, or, you know, I have my money allocated in stock or this and that, good for you. You know, you're saving and you're invested. But my challenge to you is to look at what your returns are and really ask yourself, are you making double-digit returns on your investments? Because I can tell you that on my rental portfolio and for investors that we work with, they're making 10, 11, 12% collecting rent on those little green houses here in Indianapolis. And I would challenge you to get out your statement and see what you've been making over the past few years and think about the potential of diversifying into properties. A lot of you don't realize this, but you have the opportunity to buy property with your IRA and hold rental properties in your IRA. And that's one of the things that we teach investors. You can go to our website to get more information at invest317.com. That's the word invest, I-N-V-E-S-T. The number is 317.com. You can also call. Our number is 866-612-0346 to get information. We do free get-togethers at our offices in Fountain Square on a regular basis. Our next one will be July 25th. That's an opportunity for you to come out and hear more in detail while we talk about this concept of diversifying into little greenhouses, just like in the game of Monopoly. In fact, my father, who passed away in 2005, loved a book by a man named Robert Fulghum titled "All I Really Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten." And I would contend, or I would like to extend that to say that all you really needed to know about real estate investing, you learned playing Monopoly. It's a simple game and it's a simple concept, but there's a lot of power behind that. Warren Buffett said, and we mentioned this earlier, that that he invests in what he knows and he invests in what he understands. Now, I know some of you are thinking, well, I don't know how a furnace works, or I don't know what a hot water heater is. But I look at my brief experience investing in the stock market, and I remember that I had invested $2,000 in a mutual fund. This was back in 1998. And I got online, I set up an account, and every couple of weeks I'd get on there and see how that mutual fund was performing. Now, I watched that $2,000 quickly turn into $3,000 and $35,000 and $40,000 and $4,000, and this was with a fund with a very nationally accredited, well-known firm. And I watched my money go up and up in value. And then over the following months, I watched the numbers reverse, and they started to go down. Now, this particular fund was unique, and the reason why I invested in it was because it was invested in only 20 stocks. And I thought, well, now I can understand that. And then, for no apparent reason to me, the value started to drop and to drop, and I noticed they bought different stocks, and it dropped further. And I came to a realization with that mutual fund that I had invested in that I really didn't understand anything that was going on behind the scenes. I didn't understand what was happening in that boardroom. I didn't understand why the value was going up and now it was going down. I couldn't get my mind around the economics behind what was happening in that company. And it made me uncomfortable because I really realized that while I could understand what stocks they were holding, I never would be able to really know what was going on in that company. And as I compared that to this early knowledge that I was gaining in real estate, I thought, well, I may not know how to fix a furnace, but I do know if I have to spend $1,500 on it, I can understand where that money went. I knew that if I had to spend $4,000 on a roof, that I may not know how to put it on, but at least I knew where my money had gone. And there was a lot of comfort to me in investing in real estate, in investing in bricks and mortar. And it's easy for us as we invest, as we manage properties for investors all over the world, that when they have questions about where their money has gone, that we can explain that to them. And it's easy for them to track. Warren Buffett said in February, he was on CNBC and he was getting an interview, and he said, if I could, I'd buy up a couple 100,000 single-family homes. Now, I thought that was interesting because Warren Buffett is widely considered to be one of the most brilliant investing minds of our times. And right now, real estate is the hottest asset class out there. All these big mutual funds, all these big companies are trying to find a way to buy little green houses in the linear best real estate markets in the country. And the investors that we work with already have that in, because since 2004 we've been perfecting the techniques that we use every day to find good deals, to fix them up cheaply, to find good tenants, to rent those properties out, and to manage them for investors and send them that rent check every month. And you can get more information from us at our website at invest317.com. You can also call at 866-612-0346, and we'd love to have you come to one of our free info sessions where for several hours we'll go into detail about what it is that we do and the services that we provide. Because as I've completely transformed my financial life through real estate, through buying and selling properties, through collecting rental income every month, we have enough surplus properties that we can provide those to other investors. And so consider your financial portfolio and consider what it would be like to have a good portion of your retirement income be making not only a double-digit return here in this market, but have properties that you could drive by, that you can see, that you can feel, and that you can know exactly what's going on. You live in the best real estate market in the country. I live here with you. Our offices are here, and we're excited about this show, and we're excited about this opportunity that we'll have every week to share with you the tips and tricks that we've used and use to make millions. My name is Aaron Adams. This is Real Estate Tips and Tricks, and you're listening to News Talk 1430 WXNT.